All right, so get ready because today we are going deep on pyrolytic carbon, the material that actually levitates. And I know our listeners love this kind of stuff, unusual materials, got some really cool properties and applications to uncover. So, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Well, you know what's so interesting about pyrolytic carbon is that it really highlights um, how the structure of a material determines how it functions. It's really a great example of material science.
So let's start with the basics here.
Yeah.
What exactly is pyrolytic carbon?
Pyrolytic carbon, it is a type of carbon,
Hmm.
and it's created through this process called pyrolysis. So basically, you heat hydrocarbons to super high temperatures in a vacuum.
Ah,
And what happens is that heat breaks them down, and the carbon atoms rearrange themselves into this super ordered layered structure.
so it's almost like, I don't know, like baking a cake, but instead of a delicious treat, you get this super material.
That's actually a really good analogy. But instead of flour and sugar, we're talking about hydrocarbons.
Right.
And these hydrocarbons are transformed under some pretty extreme conditions. And the resulting material, pyrolytic carbon, it shares some structural similarities with graphite.
Graphite.
Yeah, the stuff in your pencils.
Okay. Right.
So they both have those carby atoms arranged in sheets.
Okay, graphite, yeah. But I have a feeling pyrolytic carbon is a bit more exciting than what's in my pencil case. So what makes it so different from graphite?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. So, while structurally similar, pyrolytic carbon's properties are amplified, I guess you could say, compared to graphite. It's way more versatile with this unique combination of strength and biocompatibility and resistance to really extreme
I know
temperatures.
we're talking.
Mm.
So about that levitating thing,
Yeah.
how does a material repel magnets? I mean, that just sounds like magic.
It's not magic, but it is a really cool demonstration of this thing called diamagnetism.
Diamagnetism.
Yes. So all materials, they interact with magnetic fields in some way. Right.
Most are either paramagnetic or ferromagnetic,
Right.
meaning they're attracted to magnets.
Right. Attracted to magnets.
Diamagnetic materials, on the other hand, they're actually weakly repelled. Now,
Yeah.
what makes pyrolytic carbon so special is that its diamagnetism is incredibly strong, which
Oh.
leads to that levitation effect.
So it's not defying gravity, but it looks like it is.
That's so cool. I'm guessing this diamagnetism is a direct result of that unique carbon structure we talked about.
Exactly. Picture those flat hexagonal sheets of carbon atoms, much like a honeycomb. So when you expose pyrolytic carbon to a magnetic field, the electrons within these sheets, they create their own opposing magnetic field.
Oh, wow.
It's like an invisible shield, repelling the external magnet and making the material, yeah, making it look like it's levitating.
That's incredible. Seeing that in action, I bet, is mind-blowing. So we
Yeah.
get this super strong magnet-repelling material, but what can we actually do with it?
Well, for starters, pyrolytic carbon is a literal lifesaver. So one of its most important applications is in the creation of artificial heart valves.
Wait, heart valves? That sounds incredibly delicate. How does this super strong material fit into that?
It's all about biocompatibility and durability. So pyrolytic carbon is really remarkably biocompatible, meaning it doesn't trigger any adverse reactions inside the body.
Okay.
And it's also incredibly tough, resistant to wear and tear,
Yeah.
which a heart valve experiences over a lifetime.
So it's strong enough to withstand the constant beating of a heart, yet gentle enough to coexist within the human body. I mean, that's amazing.
It really is. It highlights the unique properties of this material. Think about it. This material, created from extreme heat, precise engineering, it becomes a seamless part of someone's body, potentially extending their life and improving its quality.
Yeah, the connection from the lab to a beating heart, I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah,
But I have a feeling heart valves are just the beginning for pyrolytic carbon, right?
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Pyrolytic carbon's story, I mean, it takes us from the delicate workings of the human body to the extreme conditions of outer space. So its ability to withstand incredibly high temperatures makes it an essential component in spacecraft design.
Spacecraft. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Think about the intense heat a spacecraft faces during atmospheric reentry. It's like plunging through a fiery inferno. So pyrolytic carbon, it's used to create heat shields that protect these vehicles from burning up on their return to Earth.
So not only is it saving lives within the human body, but it's also safeguarding spacecraft as they travel through space. That's impressive.
It really speaks volumes about the versatility of this material. We're talking about applications that span from the micro level of human biology to the macro level of space exploration. And it all stems from that unique way, those carbon atoms are arranged.
Okay, well, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. We've talked about levitating magnets, heart valves, and spacecraft heat shields, all thanks to this one incredible material. What other secrets does pyrolytic carbon hold?
Well, let's just say that its journey, it's far from over. So researchers, they're constantly finding new and exciting applications for pyrolytic carbon, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible.
This is definitely shaping up to be one of our most fascinating deep dives yet.
Hmm.
I can't wait to see what else we uncover.
And the fascinating thing is we've really only just started to figure out what it can do. I mean, we've talked about, medicine and aerospace, but there's so much more to it.
I was just thinking about that. We've covered some amazing applications already, but it's hard to imagine how a material that's used in, heart valves and spacecraft heat shields could also be in my everyday life.
Well, you might be surprised to learn that you've probably interacted with pyrolytic carbon without even realizing it.
Really? Okay, tell me more.
Think about like those sleek black finishes on high-end watches.
Oh, right. Yeah, those are gorgeous. What do those have to do with pyrolytic carbon?
A lot of times, those deep scratch-resistant coatings are actually made using pyrolytic carbon. So its hardness and durability, they're perfect for creating a surface that can, withstand daily wear and tear while still looking amazing.
So it's not just saving lives and protecting spacecraft, but it's also making our watches look good. Pyrolytic carbon, you really are a multi-talented material.
And that's just one example. I mean, the potential applications, they span so many fields. For example, its electrical conductivity makes it a really promising candidate for use in batteries and capacitors.
Hold on, batteries. So this one material could potentially be in my heart, on my wrist, and powering my phone someday. That's crazy.
It really shows the versatility of pyrolytic carbon. Its properties just make it suitable for so many things. I mean, we're talking medicine, electronics, aerospace, and beyond.
I'm starting to think we need a whole series just on pyrolytic carbon. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to discuss. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back and recap what we've learned so far about this incredible material.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. A quick recap would be helpful.
All right, so we talked about how pyrolytic carbon exhibits extreme diamagnetism, which is why it can repel magnets so dramatically, creating that levitation effect.
Right, the levitating material. I mean, that's definitely a party trick I'd love to be able to do.
Then there are the medical applications. Particularly it's used in artificial heart valves, which is made possible by its biocompatibility and incredible durability.
It's amazing to think that something created from such extreme heat and such precise engineering can become such a seamless part of the human body.
And of course, we can't forget its heat resistance, those incredibly strong bonds between the carbon atoms. It allows it to withstand such extreme temperatures, even the fiery re-entry of spacecraft returning to Earth.
We also talked about, how it's structurally similar to graphite, but we said that pyrolytic carbon is way more versatile, right?
Yeah.
And has a wider range of remarkable properties.
That's right. But what does it all mean? I mean, what's the big takeaway for our listener?
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? What's the so what of all this amazing information about pyrolytic carbon?
I think that the key takeaway here is that pyrolytic carbon it's a prime example of how understanding a material's properties really well can lead to extraordinary applications that can benefit humanity. It's not just about knowing what a material is, it's about understanding what it can do.
And in the case of pyrolytic carbon, what it can do is pretty remarkable. So where do we go from here? What's next for this wonder material?
That's the exciting part. Researchers all over the world, I mean, they're constantly exploring new ways to synthesize it, modify it, and apply it.
Do you have any, insider information on what they're working on? Any hints about future applications that might, blow our minds?
Well, one area of research that's really active right now is in improving the synthesis process. They're aiming to create even stronger and more versatile forms of pyrolytic carbon. Imagine, being able to fine-tune its properties even more precisely, tailoring it for very specific applications.
So we could be talking about a future where we can, design pyrolytic carbon to meet our exact needs. I mean, that sounds like something straight out of, science fiction.
Maybe. The line between science fiction and reality, it's always blurring, isn't it?
I'm starting to think there's no limit to what we can achieve when we really delve into this fascinating world of material science.
Yeah, the beauty of science is in its potential for discovery. There's always something new to uncover, something that could change the world as we know it.
Which brings us back to pyrolytic carbon. I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about its amazing properties, its mind-blowing applications, and even hinted at its exciting future.
But there's one final aspect we haven't really explored yet, and it might be the most intriguing of all.
Okay, now you've really got my attention. I mean, what could be more intriguing than a material that levitates?
How about a material that could potentially revolutionize how we store energy, electronics, and even environmental protection?
Wait, are you saying that pyrolytic carbon could be the key to a more sustainable future?
It's definitely possible. Remember those strong carbon bonds we talked about? Those same bonds could be the key to creating new types of batteries that are way more efficient and longer lasting than anything we have right now.
So we're not just talking about like powering our phones, but potentially powering our homes and cars more sustainably. I mean, that would be amazing.
Imagine electric vehicles that can go much farther on a single charge, or homes that can rely more heavily on renewable energy sources.
Pyrolytic carbon, the unsung hero of the green energy revolution. I love it.
And its potential goes way beyond just energy storage. Pyrolytic carbon's unique properties that could lead to flexible electronics, sensors that can detect even tiny changes in the environment, and even new materials for water purification.
Wow. So now we're talking about a material that could impact pretty much every aspect of our lives.
And that's just what we know so far. As research progresses, I mean, who knows what other incredible applications we'll discover.
It seems like pyrolytic carbon is the gift that keeps on giving. But I have to ask, with all this potential, what are the challenges? What's holding us back from really using this material to its fullest?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest challenges is scalability. Right now, producing large quantities of high-quality pyrolytic carbon, it's a pretty complex and expensive process. Researchers are working on developing more efficient and cost-effective methods, but it's definitely a hurdle that we need to overcome.
So the science is there, the potential is there, but we need to figure out how to make it more accessible and affordable. What else?
Another challenge is really understanding the long-term effects of using pyrolytic carbon in certain applications. For example, while it's been proven to be biocompatible in heart valves, more research is needed to understand its long-term effects in other medical implants.
That makes sense. Responsible innovation is key when we're dealing with something that could have such a huge impact on human health and the environment.
Absolutely. We need to be cautious, thorough in our research, making sure that we're using this material safely and ethically.
It's a good reminder that even the most promising scientific discoveries need to be approached, carefully with an awareness of the potential risks and rewards. But I get the feeling you have more to say on this.
You know me too well.
Yeah.
But I will say, despite these challenges, the future of pyrolytic carbon is incredibly bright. I mean, the sheer range of potential applications, the ongoing research, it all suggests that this material is going to play an increasingly important role in shaping the world around us.
From levitating over magnets to potentially solving some of humanity's, biggest challenges, pyrolytic carbon has definitely proven to be anything but ordinary.
It's a material that it defies expectations. It challenges our assumptions about what's possible, and that's what makes it so exciting.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's moments like these that remind me why we do what we do. The pursuit of knowledge, the thrill of discovery, and the potential to make a real difference in the world. That's what keeps us going.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be looking back at this very conversation as the moment when we first realized, the true transformative power of pyrolytic carbon.
And that's what it all comes down to, really. That journey of discovery, it all starts with curiosity.
Yeah, I love that. It's a reminder that even something like pyrolytic carbon, it can be understood by anyone who's, willing to ask questions and just explore.
Yeah, and our deep dive today has really only scratched the surface here. I mean, there's so much more to learn about pyrolytic carbon and how it's used and the science behind it.
So where should our listeners go from here? What resources would you recommend for someone who, wants to delve deeper into this material?
Well, there are some really great online resources. You can start with scientific journals and research databases for I guess you could say, a more accessible approach. You can look for articles and videos from reputable science communicators and organizations, and even just searching online for pyrolytic carbon will turn up some pretty amazing stuff.
And I think it's important to remember that learning about science doesn't have to be intimidating. There's a lot of information out there, and a lot of it's presented in really engaging and entertaining ways.
Exactly. And museums and science centers, they often have exhibits dedicated to material science. So those can be a really cool way to learn in a more hands-on way. And don't be afraid to reach out to local universities or research institutions. A lot of scientists are really passionate about sharing their work with the public.
That's a great point. Connecting with experts in the field can really open up a whole new world of understanding. It's really all about, keeping that sense of curiosity and wonder alive.
Exactly. Yeah. And who knows, maybe one of our listeners will be inspired to pursue a career in material science or even make the next groundbreaking discovery related to pyrolytic carbon.
Now, that would be amazing. Well, it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of pyrolytic carbon. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty energized and inspired.
Oh, me too. It's been a really fascinating journey, exploring the incredible properties and the potential of this unique material.
It's amazing to think that something created from such, extreme conditions, intense heat, a vacuum, can have such a profound impact on our lives, from healthcare to space travel to the future of sustainable technology.
It really is. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the endless possibilities of scientific exploration.
So, to our listeners, we encourage you to keep that spark of curiosity burning. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never stop learning.
The world of science is vast and full of wonder. Who knows what other incredible materials and groundbreaking discoveries are out there waiting for us.
And on that note, we'll say goodbye. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Until next time.